Alright, so thanks for checking out this video, and this is something a little different because obviously I'm in an airplane cockpit. Here I am in the Boeing 737, wonderfully modeled by folks who make X-Plane. But what I wanted to do was make a video about something that I've been trying to figure out and understand for a while because it just hasn't been working for me, and that would be ILS landings, um, or Instrument Landing System landings. I've been flying in the 737 for a while. It's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it, but for some reason, every time I do an ILS landing, something gets screwed up and it doesn't work. So what I wanted to do was sort of my own take on a little tutorial, or I guess more of a what I've done that seems to work, but it doesn't for some reason. So this is kind of an interesting video. It's going to be something more along the lines of, if you see me doing something wrong, please put a comment below and let me know. If you see me doing something right, awesome. I hope this video would be helpful for that regard. But if you see me making a mistake or doing something that's incorrect, please let me know, because I definitely want to understand this better and have it work more consistently when I am doing my flights. So I just tried it at the airport near where I live, which is Austin Bergstrom International Airport in Texas, and that worked. The ILS worked just fine, did the automatic landing, the whole deal was great. So I'm thinking, okay, well, obviously what I just did seemed to work. Let me try it at a different airport. So now I am on the runway. I am on runway 22 right at Newark International Airport in New Jersey. Well, in the sim, of course I am, but I'm going to do what I did previously in the previous flight and see if it works, and sort of point out what I've learned about ILS landings and everything, and we'll see if it works. So first thing we need to do is we need to go over to a website called SkyVector, which is really handy because we can use this to get information that we need to program the plane to do the ILS landing. So we are on 22 right, which means we need to go down and find the 22 right um, information chart thingy. So we need, of course, I definitely do not use the aviation standard terminology for things because we need the thingy. It's a chart, or it's an instrument approach chart, but it's a thingy. So here we go, ILS or localizer runway 22 right. Here we go. So it's going to download a PDF. And we have to look at this PDF like so. Now, this has some important information in it, like, let me zoom in on this a little bit. So this says that, so here's the runway right here. We need to be on a 219 heading at 2,500 feet at waypoint Agnes, or AGNSS, in order to intercept the localizer over here. So that's fine. We also need to know that the localizer is on frequency of 110.75 and a course of 219. So these are the numbers we need to program into our plane. So 110.75 is the frequency, 219 is the approach course. So there's a few ways that you can do that. You can do that, I'm just going to move this over to my other monitor for a second. You can do that by going over to your autopilot controls and putting in your course over here, and then scrolling down to your radio, which is over here, and putting in your frequency. But I found it's easier to use this flight management controller, or FMC. It's easier to use this to do it. So you can go to your nav rad button right here. That'll pull up your navigation and radio screen, and then you just bring in those numbers from the other document. So, and then it's going to hide it when I click back into X-Plane. So 110.75, yeah, 110.75, and we're going to click on this little button for nav1, boink, right there. So now that's correct, and now we need to go to the course, which was 219. So we can type in 219 and hit this course right here. That's all we have to do, apparently. So now the plane is programmed to intercept the localizer. And we can see that because these little diamonds are over here. So this diamond means that we are on the center line of the runway, which makes sense. And then this diamond up here means we are below the glide slope, which makes sense because we don't need to glide down anywhere. We're sitting on the runway. So that's good. So this has all been set up correctly. Now all we have to do is get up in the air, do a loop around the airport, and try to pick up the localizer on the way back to the runway. So I'm going to get us up in the air and take care of that. We'll fly up to 4,000 feet, and we'll fly runway heading, which is 218. Oops, come on. Alright, let's do this a little slower. Okay, 218, we'll go 250 knots, just so we don't go too slow. Let's turn on our flight directors, arm the auto throttle. Alright, that should be fine. Cool, I like making steep turns. Alright, off we go. I took care of our flaps already, so we're all set there.
Approaching runway 29.
I'll be quiet.
Enter runway 29. 5,100 feet remaining.
I'm not on runway 29. That's my iPad running 4-flight. Alright, there we go. We got a positive rate. Let's put the gear up. Let's turn on our autopilot. Vertical speed. Do not need to climb that fast. Let's
Caution, inside TFR.
I know we are. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. There we go. Looking good. So we just took off. There's the airport. And there's the runway. So we're going to fly this for a little bit, and then I'm going to pretty much make 4 90-degree turns to put us sort of back near the start of where this localizer is supposed to be. And just to make things fun, let's put our lights on. And of course, no flight would be complete without the fasten seatbelt sign. Alright. Alright, so 218. So we're going to go... I'm going to make a left to 128. Oops. If and when I ever get to the point where I'm going to fly actual jets, I don't know if people are going to like me making such steep turns. Alright, now we're going to go to 038.
Caution, TFR head.
Thank you. Alright, so we're going to level off here a little bit, and if I did this correctly, which I think I did. The airfield should be on my left, but I don't see it. Nope. There it is. Alright, good. So I did this correctly. Alright, excellent. Now I'm going to... We're going to go a little bit to the right. Like I'm going to make a really sort of wide turn to come back because I want to make sure that I line up for the localizer correctly. And then again, I want the plane to line me up for the localizer. Okay. So we're going on, not doing a perfect square. X-Plane still has the twin towers in there. Interesting. Are those the... No, what are those? Those aren't the twin towers. Those are something else. I think. Maybe they're just something else. I don't see the Freedom Tower, though. I think they need to update this. Okay. Anyway, enough sightseeing. So, in order to pick up the localizer, we need to go down to, according to this, there's a chart that this chart here that has the localizer information on it. This is telling us that we actually need to be at 2,500 feet, going at 219 heading in this sort of general vicinity, or waypoint of Agnes, AGNSS, in order to pick up the localizer.
Caution, TFR below.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wing it and make a little bit of a left turn, start heading back towards the airport. I'm going to descend down to 2,200 feet. Now I'm not navigating with anything in particular, as far as, I mean, I'm kind of using ForeFlight on my iPad just to have a rough idea of where I'm at. But you definitely don't need an iPad running a GPS app in order to do this. And also, according to this, these say that we are still sort of detecting the localizer. You know, the plane can still sense the localizer's presence. So let's go left to... Oops, that's my speed. What am I doing? Well, we need to slow down anyway. Alright. Here's my first little error. We're going to go 0. Let's go heading... Now again, if you're following a flight plan or something, obviously, you know, you won't have to really wing this, but I'm just trying to make a really big circle. And if you press the M key, M like Mike in X-Plane, you can pull up a map and kind of see where you're at. So I'm shooting for this kind of general vicinity over here, where I want to go and actually pick up the localizer, or hopefully maybe a little bit further north. So I'm going to make a left to 270 now. Actually, go go 260. So I'm trying to go left, maybe a little bit further south, and then probably throw the approach switch and see if this thing will pick up the localizer then.
Caution, TFR head.
I'll be quiet. Okay, and I need to be on a heading of 219. So I'm just going to keep this going. That's Teterboro Airport right there, actually. Right over here. And even if we looked at that chart, it says Teterboro's right over here. So we might, you know what, I'm going to flip the approach switch and let's see if it'll pick it up. So by doing that, when heading select is on, it means that we're not fully locked on. But let's see what happens, because I did this before when I was doing the landing at Austin, and that worked. I'm going to slow down a little bit more. Do some flaps. And ideally, when you pick up the localizer, you do want to be below the glide slope, which is a good thing. So this means that part's kind of taken care of for us already. So we're not too high to pick up the localizer. All right, heading select just shut off. So that means that we are locked on, hopefully. And I have the altitude hold set to 2200. I'm not going to turn that off. I'm just going to leave it set exactly as is. Because when I landed in Austin, I left altitude hold turned on and it shut itself off and started descending automatically, which I thought was really neat. But I had to take control just before touchdown because it'll nosedive you straight into the runway. So I think probably about 300 feet off the ground or so, you can disengage the autopilot. All right, there's a runway right in front of me, right over here. So let's drop the gear, do a little more flaps, arm our speed brakes, and we'll reduce our speed a little bit more. Altitude hold just went off, so now the plane is going to start to descend itself. Got 3 greens for the for their landing gear, which is good. Let's look outside. It's looking good. It looks like we're lined right up for the center line for the most part. I'm going to wait until the last second to go manual, so we'll see how good the ILS is. I'm going to go manual probably at about 300 feet. or right when we're close by to the runway, because the ILS system will not automatically flare the plane for you. You do have to pull back and do that part manually. But it looks like it is doing pretty well with keeping us lined up. 1,000 feet. Diamonds in the middle here, diamond in the middle there. That's looking good. Let's go a little bit longer before I go manual. I'm going to go manual at 200, I think.
500.
All right. Okay, on manual now. All right, welcome to Newark Airport, where who knows what time it is. But yeah, that worked very nicely, I gotta say. Let's put our flaps and speed brakes back. And there we have it. So, seems like ILS does work. Oh, whoops. All right. Well, whatever. Anyway, it seems like ILS does work as long as you follow the charts that are there. So, and maybe that might have been my problem, why it didn't work for me when I tried it the last few times, or something, I don't know. But it seems to work. So, there we have it. And I hope that was helpful. And if you guys have any feedback on my piloting skills other than my parking in the right lane instead of on the taxi line here, kind of let that go. But if you have any tips for ILS flying, I'm just using the kind of default 737 that comes with X-Plane 11. Please feel free to put some comments below, and I might do some more aviation-themed videos when I understand this better and learn more about it. But I'm just kind of having fun with it right now, and I thank you for watching. If you guys watched through the end of this, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.